Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract everything they want, while others grind away their whole lives without getting anywhere? The gap between them isn't luck, intelligence, or even effort. It's something far more powerful, something I stumbled onto that reshaped my entire life within a week. Today, I want to walk you through the 5 habits that will completely change how you experience your life. Before I get into it, understand this. Everything I'm about to share has been tested, refined, and confirmed, not only by me, but by thousands of people who've applied these same principles. Let's start with habit number 1, the morning mental diet. This single habit alone has the power to reshape your entire experience of reality. Here's exactly how it works. The moment you wake up, don't move a muscle. Keep your eyes shut. For the next 15 minutes, you're entering what I call the creation zone, a state where your brain waves are perfectly primed to program your subconscious. Start by feeling your desired reality. Notice I said feel, not visualize. If financial abundance is your goal, feel the sensation of opening your banking app and seeing an enormous balance. Feel the leather beneath you in your dream car. Feel the ocean breeze on your face as you sit on your beach house balcony. I remember when I first started this practice. I was sleeping on a lumpy mattress in a cramped little room. But every single morning, I trained myself to feel the sensation of waking up in my dream home. I felt the plush carpet beneath my feet, the warmth of morning light pouring through floor-to-ceiling windows, the calm of having already achieved everything I wanted. Within days, my outer circumstances began shifting to match this inner experience. That's not coincidence, that's law. Habit number 2, the sustained state. This one's about holding your desired state steady throughout the whole day. Most people let their circumstances dictate their mood. We're flipping that entirely. When you walk, walk like someone who's already achieved everything they wanted. When you speak, speak from the perspective of someone who already has it all. When you breathe, breathe as though you're already living your dream life. This isn't pretending, it's assuming the natural state of who you actually are. Think about how you'd carry yourself if success were already yours. How would your posture change? How would you engage with people? How would you meet challenges? I practice this everywhere. The grocery store, meetings, even behind the wheel. Rather than letting circumstances shape my mood, I held on to the feeling of my wish already fulfilled. The results came fast, and they were remarkable. Habit number 3, the money feeling. This one flipped my entire relationship with money overnight. Every time you handle money, spending it, receiving it, even just thinking about it, hold on to the feeling of limitless abundance. Here's the trick to the money feeling. When you pay bills, feel genuine gratitude for your ability to keep money moving. When you buy something, feel the joy of endless prosperity. Even when browsing expensive items, feel the calm certainty that you could easily afford them. I remember standing outside luxury shops, feeling the natural sensation of being able to buy anything I wanted, not out of lack or craving, but from the quiet knowledge that it was already mine. Which brings us to habit number 4, the nightly review. I call this the subconscious programming session. Right before sleep, your mind enters a state of heightened receptivity. This is when you can plant your desires directly into your subconscious. Lie in bed and replay your ideal day. Not the day you actually had, the day you want. Feel yourself waking in your dream home. Experience the satisfaction of hitting your goals. Feel the joy of your ideal relationships. I would lie there feeling the sensation of closing million-dollar deals, of touching thousands of lives, of living in total abundance. I didn't just picture these scenes. I felt them with everything in me. The 5th habit is what I call the identity shift. and it might be the most powerful of them all. Rather than trying to alter your circumstances, you change who you are at the core. Most people try to reshape their lives from the outside inward, thinking, if I just get more money, a better job, the perfect relationship, then I'll finally become who I want to be. But that's backward. You have to become that person in your mind first. Feel what it's like to be confident, successful, fulfilled. Don't ask what you need to do to succeed. Ask what a successful person would do. Then do those things naturally. I remember the exact moment this idea clicked for me. I stopped trying to become successful and simply assumed the identity of someone who already was. My walk changed. My speech changed. My decisions changed. All naturally, all effortlessly. These 5 habits function together in perfect sync. The morning mental diet programs your day. The sustained state locks that programming in. The money feeling reshapes your relationship with abundance. The nightly review deepens the impression. And the identity shift makes it all stick permanently. But here's what most people miss entirely. These habits aren't about changing your actions, they're about changing your state of consciousness. Once your consciousness shifts, your actions shift automatically. Think about it. How does a wealthy person make decisions? How does a confident person handle a setback? How does a successful person view opportunity? When you assume these states of consciousness, you naturally start taking the actions that produce these outcomes. Let me show you how these habits build lasting transformation. Most people try to reshape their lives through sheer willpower and struggle, like pushing a boulder uphill. These habits, instead, work with the natural laws of consciousness. Consider this. Every morning you practice the mental diet. You're literally reprogramming your subconscious. Your subconscious can't tell the difference between what's physically real and what's vividly imagined with feeling. It simply accepts whatever you impress upon it. I found that persistence is the real key. When I started, my logical mind kept arguing, this isn't real. But I persisted in holding the feeling of my desired reality. Within days, my outer world began rearranging itself to match my inner state. Let me show you how to deepen these habits further. With the sustained state, understand that every single moment is a chance to reinforce your new reality. Standing in line at the coffee shop, feel wealthy. Stuck in traffic, feel successful. Waiting for an elevator, feel accomplished. I remember catching myself slipping back into old thought patterns. Instead of fighting those thoughts, I gently guide myself back to my desired state. It's like training a muscle. The more reps you do, the stronger it grows. The money feeling requires a total overhaul in how you relate to money. Most people feel tension, worry, or lack whenever money's involved. You need to train yourself to feel relaxed, confident, abundant in every financial situation. When I began this practice, I'd walk into upscale stores and feel completely at ease. I'd look at luxury cars and feel the natural sensation of ownership. I'd read about massive deals and feel entirely comfortable with those numbers. The nightly review grows more powerful when you add emotional intensity to your scenes. Don't passively watch your desired reality unfold. Immerse yourself fully in it. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, live the emotions. I'd spend hours refining my scenes, making them more vivid, more real, more alive. The key is to feel the naturalness of your desired state. It shouldn't feel like fantasy, it should feel like memory. The identity shift is where all these habits converge. You're not just changing your thoughts or actions, you're changing who you are at the deepest level. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about waking up to who you truly already are. Think about how a master pianist plays. They don't think about individual notes. They simply express their mastery naturally. That's how these habits should feel eventually, as natural as breathing. Let me reveal something most people never grasp about these habits. Every single moment of your day either reinforces your old reality or builds your new one. There's no neutral ground. When you practice the morning mental diet, you're not just daydreaming, you're actively selecting which version of reality you'll live. Think of it like tuning a radio to a specific frequency. Whatever station you land on determines what you hear. I found the key to making this habit unshakable is focusing on the feeling tone of your desire. If wealth is what you want, don't just picture money. Feel the security, the freedom, the peace that comes with abundance. Make it so real, your palms tingle with the sensation. The sustained state becomes even more powerful once you understand this. Your current circumstances are just shadows of past thinking. They hold no power over your state unless you hand them that power. This was a turning point for me. When challenges or setbacks hit, instead of reacting, I'd immediately shift to the feeling of my desire fulfilled. If someone questioned my goals, I held my state. If circumstances seemed to contradict my desires, I stayed the course. Here's something critical about the money feeling that transformed my entire relationship with wealth. Money is simply frozen desire. When you sustain the feeling of abundance, you're actually thawing that frozen energy and letting it flow freely in your life. I remember standing in the grocery checkout line, watching others stress over prices. But I'd trained myself to feel wealthy regardless of my bank balance. Every transaction became a chance to circulate abundance, to feel the joy of prosperity. The nightly review becomes magnetic once you add this dimension. As you review your perfect day, feel the satisfaction of already having lived it. Don't preview it, review it. That subtle shift changes everything. I'd lie in bed feeling deep gratitude for another successful day, before that day had even physically arrived. I felt the handshakes, heard the congratulations, experienced the joy of accomplishment, as though it had already happened. The identity shift deepens. Once you grasp this, you're not becoming someone new. You're remembering who you already are. This isn't change, it's recognition. You're simply acknowledging your true, unlimited nature. Most people think success is about doing, but really it's about being. Shift your identity, and the doing follows naturally. I stopped trying to figure out how to become successful, and simply started being successful in my mind and emotions. Here's something few understand about these habits. They run on the principle of assumption. When you assume something is true, your subconscious has to make it so. It has no other option. It's like handing it a direct order. Let me share something that completely changed things for me. Most people assume time moves in a straight line. Tomorrow follows today. But once you master these habits, you realize time is actually simultaneous. Every possibility already exists, right now. The morning mental diet becomes exponentially more powerful once you understand this. You're not inventing something new. You're selecting from an infinite set of possibilities already there. Every morning, as you lie there feeling your desired reality, you're actually tuning into a version of yourself that already has everything you want. I discovered that consistency is everything. Even when you don't feel like it, even when your logical mind pushes back, you have to keep the practice going. It's like tending a fire. You can't light it once and expect it to burn forever. It needs continual tending. The sustained state takes on new meaning once you grasp this principle. Your outer world is nothing but your inner world turned inside out. Everything you see, everyone you meet, every circumstance you face is simply reflecting your previous state of consciousness back to you. This blew my mind when I first understood it. Holding my desired state throughout the day wasn't just pretending. I was actually shifting the entire universe to align with my consciousness. Every moment became an opening for transformation. Let me share a deeper layer of the money feeling that most people never grasp. Money is just a symbol of exchange, but abundance is a state of being. Sustain the feeling of abundance, and you're not just attracting money, you're becoming the very essence of prosperity. I remember walking into stores and feeling completely different about price tags. Instead of seeing something as expensive, I felt genuine appreciation for its value. Instead of wondering if I could afford it, I simply knew everything was within reach. The nightly review becomes transformative once you add this dimension. As you review your perfect day, feel the relief of knowing it's finished. Feel the satisfaction of completion. Feel the quiet assumption that this is simply your life now. I'd lie there feeling the weight of achievement, the warmth of accomplishment, the peace of knowing my desires were already fulfilled. This wasn't hope or wishful thinking. It was certainty beyond any doubt. The identity shift deepens further once you grasp this. Every version of you already exists. The successful you, the wealthy you, the confident you, they're all present right now. You're not creating these versions. You're choosing which one to step into. Think about it this way. When you change the channel on a TV, you're not creating new programs. You're tuning into broadcasts that already exist. In the same way, shifting your identity means tuning into a version of yourself that already exists among infinite possibilities. These 5 habits function together in perfect harmony because they all run on the same principle, the principle of consciousness. Whatever you're conscious of being, you must experience. Whatever feels real to you must become real. Let me share something that will completely reframe how you understand these habits. Most people believe success takes years of grinding effort, but I discovered that success actually happens in an instant. The instant you fully accept your desired state as real. Think about it. When you practice the morning mental diet, you're not simply picturing a nicer future. You're actually stepping into a new dimension of yourself. Each morning becomes a doorway into infinite possibility. That's why the first 15 minutes of your day are sacred. I remember the exact moment this clicked for me. Instead of starting my day rushed and anxious, I'd lie there in complete stillness, feeling my desired reality with such intensity that my current circumstances felt like a distant memory. Here's a crucial piece of the sustained state most people miss. Your state of consciousness is your real environment. The physical world you see is just a shadow of past states. Holding your desired state throughout the day means you're actually living your new reality before anyone else can see it. Let me share something profound about maintaining your state. Every person you meet, every situation you face, is genuinely an opportunity to reinforce your new reality. When someone talks about limitation, quietly hold on to your state of abundance. When circumstances look challenging, intensify your feeling of success. The money feeling becomes revolutionary. Once you understand this, money doesn't flow to you, it flows through you. Sustain the feeling of unlimited abundance, and you become a channel for wealth. Every financial transaction turns into a celebration of prosperity. I'd look at my bank balance with the same feeling, no matter what number appeared. I'd pay bills with real joy, knowing every dollar spent would return multiplied. I'd treat myself to quality experiences while holding the natural feeling that I could afford anything I genuinely wanted. The nightly review takes on new power once you grasp this. Your subconscious is at its most receptive in the final moments before sleep. This is when you can impress your desires most deeply, like programming tomorrow while you rest. I'd build scenes so vivid, so real, that my physical reality started to feel like the dream instead. I'd feel the texture of success, hear the sounds of achievement, experience the emotions of fulfillment with such intensity that my subconscious had no choice but to accept them as fact. The identity shift becomes unstoppable once you understand this truth. You are not your past thoughts, your current circumstances, or your future hopes. You are pure consciousness, capable of assuming any state you desire. That is real power. Most people try changing their lives by changing their actions. But I found that once you shift your identity, your actions change automatically. You don't have to force yourself to act successful. You naturally do what a successful person does, because you're operating from that state of consciousness. Here's something crucial about these habits. They aren't separate practices. They're different facets of the same truth. The truth that your consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, your body, your surroundings, your circumstances, is simply consciousness pushed out into visible form. The morning mental diet becomes transformative once you grasp this. In those first waking moments, your brain runs on theta waves, the same state advanced meditators spend years cultivating. That's why those 15 minutes outweigh hours of daytime affirmations. I remember experiencing this truth firsthand. During those morning sessions, I wasn't just imagining success. I was actually experiencing it at a neurological level. My brain couldn't tell the difference between imagined and physical reality, and it built new neural pathways of achievement as a result. Here's a deeper layer of the sustained state that changed everything for me. Every emotion you feel throughout the day is actually a choice. Once you understand this, you realize you can choose to feel successful, wealthy, and fulfilled, regardless of what's happening around you. Consider this. Your current reality is just a shadow of past emotional states. Sustain your desired emotional state consistently, and you're actually building your future reality. Every moment becomes a point of power, a chance to reinforce your new way of being. The money feeling transforms. Once you grasp this principle, money is crystallized consciousness. Sustain the feeling of abundance, and you're literally altering the energy field around you. That's why opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere once you master this habit. I discovered that every financial transaction is really an energy exchange. Buying coffee, paying rent, making any purchase, I held the feeling that I was circulating abundance, not losing money. That subtle shift created a constant flow of prosperity in my life. The nightly review becomes almost magical once you understand this. Your subconscious processes information through symbols and feeling, not logic. Reviewing your perfect day before sleep actually feeds your subconscious a fresh blueprint for reality. I'd lie there feeling the satisfaction of closed deals, the joy of achievement, the peace of financial freedom. But here's the key. I wouldn't just picture these scenes. I'd feel them with such intensity that my body responded as though they were actually happening. The identity shift reaches new depths once you grasp this. Your identity isn't something you build. It's something you select from infinite possibility. Just as a radio tunes into different stations, your consciousness can tune into different versions of you. This understanding changed how I approached transformation entirely. Instead of trying to become something new, I simply tuned into the version of me that already had everything I wanted. The struggle vanished, replaced by a natural assumption of my chosen state. Here's something profound about these habits. They operate on the principle of resonance. Whatever state you consistently hold becomes your dominant frequency, and the universe has no choice but to respond by delivering experiences that match it. The morning mental diet becomes even more critical once you grasp this. Those first 15 minutes are actually programming the quantum field itself. Feeling your desired reality with intensity doesn't just affect your mind, it reorganizes the very fabric of reality. I found that during these morning sessions, staying purely focused is essential. Any doubt, any "how will this happen?" creates static in the quantum field. The key is to feel with such completeness that questions become irrelevant. You simply know it's already done. Here's something profound about the sustained state that few understand. Every moment of your day is a choice point in quantum reality. Every time you hold your desired state, despite contrary evidence, you're actually collapsing quantum possibilities into your chosen reality. Consider this: standing in line, sitting in traffic, facing any situation that would normally trigger a negative reaction, you're actually at a quantum crossroads.